Woo! Easy. Easy. Here. Really get the feel of the damage. And there we go. That was the damage. That's lightning warp. Can I walk? Hold on, we're just walking around, guys. Oh, I can't even flame dash. I can't flame dash. Yeah, it's a desync simulator. Good afternoon, everybody. So after my last video, as I said, I have been really enjoying the ward loop auto bombing character right now. I am playing it a little bit. There's some people doing this, but doing it on an occultist is for the ward loop meta, a little off meta, and I wanted to keep with that just because Witch is my favorite base class in the game. I think the Scion version for high investment may technically be the best, maybe Elementalist after that, but Occultist is still really, really good. As I said in my last video, I was doing Ashes of the Stars. I was trying to do something kind of off meta, a little different. It was good. It was good. I was still probably at like 5 to 10 million DPS, walking around feeling really, really good. And I was only at like, I know this is a very expensive build, and we'll get into that in a little bit, but only at like 30 to 50x invested. It felt great. It was able to do, basically everything I needed it to do, but I wanted to take it to the next level. This is basically my big project of the league that I want to throw a ton of currency at, talking with chat, people coming in, helping me out, throwing me chromes or fusings or anything that I needed. Really a group project that we've been kind of working together and just really seeing how ridiculous of a build that we could put together. And the purpose of it really is to bring the community together. For better or for worse, I wanted to kind of do community carries and really try to help people complete their challenges and have a lot of fun doing group play as a kind of an end of the league project. I feel like that is a thing that is kind of underserved and not really leaned into as content creation for Path of Exile. And that's something that I want to do a lot more in the future is like, yeah, just pop in chat, send me a whisper, and we'll do some party play and do some all sorts of crazy fun things. And that's what we did yesterday after translating this build into Omniscience. But it's been an absolute blast, and I want to show you guys what I've done. Just the budget for this character and this build is yes. This is just we're working together as a group, as a community to put this together for something absolutely bonkers, just so we can do that fun party play stuff. So this is not a build. I'm not making a build guide. This is not something that I'm saying anyone can put together, but this is just, to me, really distilling the essence of what is awesome about Path of Exile, being able to take like a billion different mechanics, looking at like new crafting styles and everything that they give us, and being able to come together as a community and just make something that is just hilarious and really, really fun. Let's just go over a little bit of what we did, and we'll open up with a map here so you can see what it looks like. All right, so if you saw the last video, definitely check that out if you want to get a taste of where this build came from as you kind of follow through what we've been doing here. And what we used to have is a Ashes of the Stars, or just kind of generic amulet. The Ashes wasn't doing too much for us. Standard setup, really, where, you go for your resistances on your suffixes, and you just try to get as much crit multi and all that type of stuff, and that's where your damage really comes from. And if you've been living under a rock right now, Crystallized Omniscience is currently the meta right now. It really is. 21% of all people that are in the higher echelons of levels right now are using Crystallized Omniscience. It is the Deadeye version, doing regular tornado shot stuff, lightning arrow. That is like the big meta right now. But there's a lot of other people doing it. Lightning Strike Raider, you can do it on a Berserker, also Lightning Strike, of course. Ascendant is doing it with Ice Spear, all of that. Like, it really it's a ridiculous item. It's an absolutely ridiculous item. I think it's really cool because it enables a different way of building a character, like a totally different way of building a character, but it is definitely too strong. It enables just a hilarious amount of damage that you're able to get away with, and you don't even really have to think about resistances anymore or anything based on how it works. So just a very quick overview of how Crystallized Omniscience works is modifiers to attributes no longer modify your attributes. Now they instead apply to omniscience. It will give you this omniscience attribute that you can see in your character sheet right here. It'll say omniscience. And so instead of getting attributes, right, so you're not able to you don't get those bonuses from strength, int, or dexterity, you now get that omniscience. For every 10 omniscience, you get +1 to all res, which means you don't have to go towards your resistances at all. This will absolutely make sense because the way that you build it and the fact that resistances and attributes are both in the suffix location on item. Attribute requirements can be satisfied by up to 25% of omniscience. The roll here doesn't really matter. People are paying more to go to 25%. Once you have really high omniscience, right, like it just doesn't matter. You're going to satisfy most things. But if you want to do things like use an astral plate or anything like that, you might want to just really go for that 25% roll. But the big key line here is penetrate 1% of elemental res per 10 omniscience. What does that mean? I have 1679 omniscience right now. That means I have 167% elemental pen. That is a number that is on a level that is beyond anything that we've ever seen in the past, as far as I know. I don't think you've been able to get more than, you know, a few dozen elemental pen in the past in most regular circumstances. At the very high investment, you can hit like over 2,000 omniscience, and just like it just reaches absurd numbers. So the way that you build the character, and just so you know, this is an item that I am borrowing from a viewer. This is a mirror tier item. I am borrowing this from a viewer just because, you know, this is a community thing that we're putting together. This is basically a perfect item. If you didn't play Harvest League, this was the norm back in the day, just for reference. This is a grasping male, which we purposely have bottom rolled because we want no armor and no energy shield, because we want to be able to continue our Heartbound loop, take that physical damage, right? We use a Grasping Male because it has 100% increased global defenses, and the very, very cool thing about a Grasping Male is the way that you roll it is it actually has a very high chance of hitting all 3 dex, int, and strength, because it's a triple hybrid body armor. It allows you to roll for all of those attributes to get that omniscience up, to get that elemental pen up, and all that type of stuff. Similarly, because we're building around ward across the board, all of these are actually full hybrid, so we don't have any like really annoying restrictions on the attribute modifiers that we're going for here. So let's do a quick demonstration, Phoenix, just to show what this build looks like, so you can see the insanity that we're at. I don't know the exact damage that I'm at right now. It is just very high. It is in the multiple tens of millions. PoB can kind of give you a rough idea, but you really have to add up a bunch of numbers manually to get the accurate amount of damage that you're getting here. But we are in the multiple tens of millions very, very easily, as you saw in the clips at the beginning. And in fact, those clips were from yesterday, and I've upgraded this build significantly since that. I have to hit my Oros Resolve Flask, make sure that that is kicked off, you know, so I don't hurt myself with my cast and damage taken. Then I do a weapon swap, which will then summon those spectral skulls from the Essence of Insanity weapons. We weapon swap back, which then kills them, the Heartbound loop, makes us take our physical damage here, starts the loop, and then we're also doing Forbidden Right on ourselves as well. Additional chaos damage, which is then able to do the big double 6-link triggers here. A thing that I'm doing here that I don't believe anyone else is doing, that at least that I saw in PoE Ninja, is we actually tested a lot of skills yesterday. Like we tested almost every single spell, everything from Blade Fall to Shock Nova to Lightning Warp, as you saw in the clip at the beginning, where you can't even walk around. And that's kind of the fun and the beauty of Path of Exile is I think it's really important to, if you have a template of a build or anything, the way that the Path of Exile, especially world works, and everything, honestly, is people will kind of reach local maximas for being able to optimize things. And don't be afraid to experiment and try to find something that you think might be better than what, like, even if 99% of people are doing something, that's just because they are kind of following and finding local maximas. You might be able to experiment and go out there and find something new that feels better for you. So most people out there are using Ice Spear for their primary 6-link here, and then they're doing a double 6-link with Creeping Frost, and they're all using Freezing Pulse. And we tested a lot of other different spells yesterday, and Eye of Winter honestly just felt better. The key here is that Eye of Winter can effectively kind of shotgun if you set up your position properly. So my loop is set up very, very nicely, but it's not exactly perfect right now. I have to level up like 1 or 2 more times and roll slightly better cluster jewels. So this is a thing that can happen. But you know, I can go for like 5 minutes without getting a single flash charge. So it's not like a big deal, But yeah, that can happen. Let's
I'm
kick that off
ready,
again.
not before.
And yeah, continue talking about this. Anyway, most people out there are using Freezing Pulse as their third bonus skill there. And I actually found Eye of Winter just felt better. The big key about Eye of Winter is it shoots a ton of projectiles that fill up the entire screen. And that just makes the clear so much cleaner and so much faster. Whereas Freezing Pulse just kind of shoots like kind of a, you know, a shotgun of projectiles in a single direction. And I really liked how Eye of Winter felt as a difference there. And the single target honestly felt just as good, if not better, because you can perfectly position really, really easily since it's automatically targeting, and you can get that extra projectile shotgun at the end of the effective Eye of Winter there. So anyway, let's show what this looks like. One-handed, the flasks are all automatic, and you just walk around and everything dies. Now, there are a lot of very, very finicky things that can brick this build, and, you know, if you have a friend with Determination Aura or even Discipline giving you too much energy shield, that can get you killed. It is very, 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 very finicky. So that is a thing that you just have to be aware of and worry about if you're looking to do party play and group play. But yeah, the damage is super, super high. All degens and ground effects and traps and lab and all that type of stuff actually don't just hurt us. We are recuperating so much life per second that we can just like walk around, and the only thing that we really care about is one-shots. So as long as we're not getting one shot, and you know, at higher investment, I want to get a little bit more ward, a little bit more life. I will get one shot not too often. And yeah, this is the strongest and most fun and most relaxing, you know, once you get the engine going, auto bomber style build I've ever played. This is just a beautiful, fun thing that if you're willing to like really work at it and really invest and get it going, it can just chug through all of the content in the game trivially, right? Like I don't, hold on, I have to restart this, start my Righteous Fire, Ball Righteous Fire. He's already dead. There, it's just doing so much damage that, yeah, everything just instantly dies. And yeah, that was a Maven Witness Phoenix, I believe, as well. It's just so much damage. Like other auto bombers that I've played in the past usually actually just struggle at single target, right? And because we are able to build around Omniscience specifically, and like really our only big weakness is one-shots. We do have a lower life pool here. It's just one-shots, and because we have to keep our Chaos Res on the lower side because of the Forbidden Right loop, we are kind of weaker to Chaos damage. It's just so fun to walk around and play. And, you know, budget, I know budget is, you know, all relative, but at this point in the league, 6 weeks into the league, 30 exalts, you can get this going. You know, if you are struggling to make 30x in 6 weeks, definitely check out my other videos that can give you some fundamental strategies there to get your farming going. It's just an absolute blast. This really, to me, exemplifies the beauty of the flexibility and the complexity of the mechanics, and what makes Path of Exile, honestly, to me, like one of the most special games out there. The standard in game balance these days of most game developers really simplify the game and bring it to a level that is like, you know, very, very easily accessible perhaps at a low level, but they don't really incentivize you to invest a lot into thought and understanding the systems and the mechanics. And yeah, totally understand that Path of Exile takes a lot of investment to get there, but it rewards you by investing in that and really understanding all of these different things and how they all come together. And, you know, and then you end up with like these beautiful hot messes that are just absurd and fun, and they just make me laugh. And this is why I like Path of Exile. Like really the reason I really got into the game and wanted to play it was my friend showed me a Flicker Strike cast on crit build. There's like Flicker Strike cast on crit, like just could have been Ice Nova or something like that. But yeah, there was like some explodey effect and just flying around, and then just was like randomly dying, and then also like the limited hardcore viability of the cast on death discharge from back in the day, the build of the week stuff. Can't really think of other games that like really do this and really have this like, you know, player beware. Here is an entire sandbox of insanity. Go crazy, right? And yep, it's not a perfect game, but it's just beautiful. Like the fact that I can just go to Lily, type in spell, and like, oh yeah, sure, like Voltaxic Burst, you know, that some people are playing Voltaxic Burst right now, but I can just do that, And like, all right, now we have voltaxic bursts exploding and whatever, right? Like I can just put in whatever spell I want, find the thing that feels good and build around it and just make everything work. And that beauty, like Josui's like, salutations, exile. Here's some craziness, right? I just think it's so cool. I think it's so cool. If something like this is appealing to you, definitely, give it a look up ward loop stuff. Rakesir Schmakesir does really, really good stuff. He like put out all sorts of calculating stuff. And I haven't seen the videos yet, but people said that Don't Rage Quit Bro as well has put out really good content for this build. Honestly, this build's too complicated for me to want to go into that detail. And if there's already content for it, I would just recommend going over to that. It does take a spreadsheet. It takes a calculator. You have to add up all the numbers, make them exactly perfect. But once you do, it's just a beautiful hot mess that just makes me happy to play this game. So I just wanted to continue to share what is possible as like a fun romp through some of the insanity in Path of Exile. And definitely join us at twitch.tv/Subtractem every single day, every afternoon around 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, as we try to do some party play and some community-based stuff. And like my real goal, and definitely join the Discord below as well if you want to chime in and continue the discussion. My real goal here is to build a community. We can really come together and enrich and come to and like really like meet people and form bonds that we share the fun that we have in the game, and we just like really try to stay away from that the Giga Chad and ego based gameplay. So yeah, I'm gonna go quickly edit this video down for you guys, and we'll hop on stream and we'll see how far we can take this build, and see how many of my viewers I can get killed. or how many times they kill me because they forgot to turn off Determination Aura. But anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. All right, bye.